Good morning and welcome to Shoreside Operational. I am your host, Kathleen DePrizio, and today we're going to do a little something different. I haven't done one of these podcasts in a while. I've been concentrating on my coaching podcast, which is SSO Coaching 76, but I'm going to start doing the Shoreside Operational again on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the SSO Coaching 76 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that way I'm covering both podcasts and you guys aren't, sending me messages saying, hey, when the hell are you going to do another podcast? So here we go. We're going to talk about the Panama Canal, the Red Sea, and of course the movement around the Cape. A lot of shippers out there unfortunately don't understand the fact that it takes a lot longer to get around the Cape of Good Hope. There is, in comparison to moving through the Panama Canal, going through the Suez Canal, Red Sea, and then going around the Cape of Good Hope, there is a difference of about 5,000 nautical miles. So shippers are like, well, it shouldn't take that much longer. Well, it does, because of the simple fact that we don't actually speed up the vessel. We're not going to speed through the water because that actually burns more fuel, and that would actually create more of an impact to our customers because we would need to raise our prices, plain and simple, because we would need to be able to support the bunker. So we don't do that. So we keep going, not to mention the fact that Cape of Good Hope, going around the Horn of Africa, the waters are not calm. These are not calm waters. These are very rough waters. There's a lot of wake. Believe it or not, there is actually an issue with piracy. There are pirates that try to attack the ships, and that type of thing. I mean, if anybody has any question about that, watch the movie Captain Phillips. That was actually based on true events. It was a Maersk vessel, and it's very scary, especially whenever most of these ships only have water cannons to basically protect themselves. They don't really actually carry guns and stuff like that. Some of them do. Some of them have people that are actually armed on board. But for the most part, they have water cannons to protect themselves. And then we move into the Red Sea. We've got people that are literally shooting at ships with innocent people on them. I don't support war in any way, shape, or form. And I think you're all animals if you are willing to kill innocent people. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. But I think that targeting merchant ships, targeting, tankers, targeting any type of like container ship or anything like that, it's absolutely not needed. What type of message are you trying to send that you're willing to blow up innocent people? I mean, on these ships, we carry a lot of different things. We carry a lot of chemicals on these ships. We carry food and clothing for people. There's a lot of different things on these ships that are needed in society, that are needed for consumers, are needed to keep our economies thriving. And the attacks on these ships are actually creating problems with that. I was reading a post by Lars Jensen on LinkedIn this morning. It's at day 67 of the Red Sea crisis. I'm pretty sure that was last night, or maybe sometime really early this morning. But the first says an incident of a merchant vessel being followed by two drones at a height of 100 meters for a half an hour in the northern end of the Bab al-Mandeb. I'm sure I pronounced that incorrectly, and I do apologize for that. Then came the second attack in that same strait. Vessel was hit by a drone, resulting in some superficial damage to the accommodation superstructure. But the first attack was in the Gulf of Aden. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm actually reading the report on LinkedIn. Where the master of the vessel first reported an explosion in close proximity to the vessel, followed by a second airborne explosion, resulting in shrapnel and damage to the paintwork. The crew is safe, and the vessel is proceeding. I don't understand, unless you absolutely have to go to these ports in the Gulf of Aden, along the Red Sea, Jeddah, or whatever it is. If you have to actually go to these ports, I understand why you would try to traverse the waters. But if you can go around the Cape of Good Hope, why are you not? CMA CGM had a ship they presenting conflicting information. Maersk presenting conflicting information. A lot of other carriers are presenting conflicting information. CMA CGM announced that they were going to bypass the Red Sea, and they were going to go around the Cape of Good Hope, and they were not going to put their people at risk, blah, 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 blah. But then you can see the CMA CGM Ganges is actually traversing the Red Sea. What the hell? You are literally purposely trying to save yourself money by putting people's lives at risk. Somebody is going to die. Unfortunately. There are hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of people that have already died in this stupid fucking war. Stop. What the hell is the purpose? Is it for real estate? That's usually where the wars start, is all about fucking real estate. But you're endangering people, you're endangering lives, and you're actually targeting innocent people that have absolutely nothing to do with your cause. I mean, the people that, if you look at the statistics on the vessels, most of them are, you have Filipinos, you have Chinese, you have, there's a lot of Asian cultures that literally work the vessels. You don't really, you're not targeting Israelis on these vessels unless you're targeting, Zim, because they're actually Israeli. But they don't go through there for the simple fact that they know that they're not going to put their people into harm's way, or at least the last report I saw, they haven't gone through there in a minute. But you're not targeting Israelis when you're trying to blow up a ship. You're targeting Filipinos, you're targeting Chinese, you're targeting Japanese, you're targeting Koreans. You're targeting people of different cultures around the world that have absolutely nothing to do with your damn cause. This is a problem. Get a clue. Why are you trying to do this? I don't understand it. But anyways, I digress. The Red Sea in comparison to the Cape of Good Hope. Like I said, the Cape of Good Hope is about 5,000, 6,000 nautical miles further to traverse than the Red Sea is, than the Suez Canal. So it's going to take longer. We don't speed up the vessels because the waters are rough. We don't want to lose containers over the side of the vessel because we've hit rough waters and we were going too damn fast. And we don't want to increase your cost unnecessarily because of the fact that we had to speed up and we're burning more fuel. Not to mention the fact that we're getting smacked with all of these stupid taxes for these greenhouse emissions because the European trade wants, to get their freaking money in. So that's fine and dandy. You go ahead and you taxation us to death. But, that unfortunately causes a problem when we have to raise our prices because somebody's got to pay for it. Somebody's got to pay for it. We can't all just absorb those costs. There's a lot of costs that shippers don't understand that actual carriers absorb. We do, because we get hit with it from the terminals, we get hit with it from these taxes, we get hit with it from having to, present and do the carb calculator, we get hit with it with fees, with taxes, moving through time zones, all that other good shit. All these port fees, everything like that. So there's a lot of cost structure that we actually don't push through to the customer. Like the movement through the Suez Canal. I mean, they jack their prices up. The movement through the Panama Canal because of the fact that the water's too low because it hasn't rained in forever. And the rain that has come, unfortunately, the ground is so damn dry, it's just soaking it up. This is a problem. We have to raise our prices in that respect because somebody's got to pay for it. But there are times where we actually take the hit too. We actually pay the $1 million to go through the freaking Panama Canal because that was where the bid was and we just happened to win it. so we can save time, so we can save bunker, and we can actually try to keep our vessels on freaking time. We need a break here. We need a break in the Red Sea. The war needs to stop. We need to stop going around the Cape of Good Hope unless we're actually physically, purposely going to freaking Africa. We need rain. Unfortunately, that's a Mother Nature thing, and we can't control that. And it's not like, we can have, the people of Panama come out with their cups of water and pour it in there and, the water raises. It doesn't work that way. But my point is that I guess this is I'm imploring, or I'm asking to the shippers to understand. And when you come to us and say, well, why is this vessel late? Nobody else's vessel is late. I'm going to call bullshit. Everybody's vessel's late. There are times in this industry when we could be actually so late, we will actually slide a vessel. That is what it's called. We slide a vessel for a week. Basically, we basically slide it 7 days in the schedule. We blank that 7 days and we slide the vessel to the next 7 days because then we can get the vessel back on time. It's a bullshit move, but it works and it makes everybody happy because now all of a sudden the vessel's on time again. So, but it is what it is. But we can't always do that. And when every single vessel is late, almost every single vessel where we go is off pro forma, and all of these ports and terminals are literally working on first come, first serve basis because of the fact that it's just easier instead of honoring berth windows. It makes it difficult. It makes it difficult to actually get in on time. It makes it difficult to meet those demands. And then you guys, the shippers come to us, the carriers, and say, this is all your freaking fault. And then we as carriers look at the terminal and say, this is all your freaking fault. And then the terminals look back at us and say, it's all your freaking fault. And then it's chaos. Welcome to shipping. This is an everyday life. This is what we need to understand. And this is why I decided to start doing my shoreside operational podcast again, because I think people are losing that picture. I mean, the pandemic threw us all for a big loop. There was a lot of bottlenecks, but the carriers were blaming the terminals. The terminals were blaming the carriers because everybody was late. We were blaming the terminals because they didn't have the room. But nobody looked at the fact that it was actually a whole supply chain clusterfuck in that respect. Warehousing didn't have room. Shippers were using terminals as freaking storage yards instead of putting it in like CYs and stuff like that because it was cheaper just to leave it on the damn terminal. And yes, I actually heard that from one shipper in particular. I'm not going to say their name, but they actually said, well, it's cheaper just to leave it on the terminal. Okay, well, you're part of the freaking problem. The truckers were getting stuck in lines for hours. Come on, guys. These guys don't get paid by the move. Or they don't get paid by the hour. They usually get paid by the move. So when you're sitting in a line for 6 hours just to drop one fucking load, is it really honestly worth your damn time? And is it worth the money that you're getting paid $150 for that damn dray to sit there for 6 hours? You're making $150 for 6 hours worth of work. It's not worth it. So I mean, it was actually cheaper during that time for some of these truckers to not even go to work, to save the gas. Not to mention the CARB compliance problems in California, the after dark taxes that are in California, the shit that they're trying to start with, the CARB compliance with the tractors in freaking California, and this and that. I'm sorry, but I think California laws that surround the eco and the green are a tad bit extreme, and you're actually going to put little truckers, the little guys, out of business, and then you're going to wonder why in the hell shit's not moving. But anyways, the whole point here is that you have to have understanding. Shipping is a cycle. It's not just one person's fault. It's not just one company's fault. It's everybody. everybody's fault. It's the Port of Los Angeles and the Port of Long Beach. It is the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. It is the Port of South Carolina, because they are part of the problems. It is the terminals that we call there. It could be APM terminal in New York. It could be APM terminal in LA. They are part of the problem. It could be the carriers, MSC, Maersk, CMA, Zim, Evergreen. They could all be late and throwing off the count. And all the other vessels that just happen to be on time coming in behind them get stuck. It's not the carrier's fault. It's not the terminal's fault. It's not the Port Authority's fault. It's everybody's fault. Welcome to shipping. I will see you guys again on Thursday, and we're going to be continuing our discussion here on transportation, because I'm going to get back into it and you're going to get my opinion. Follow me on YouTube and on Spotify. This is where this podcast is, and you have an awesome day.